Got
Already
all my
there.
gamer words out.
It's already there. Sucks so.
They're bubbling up.
Look at your colors changing. You're not a ginger anymore.
Oh,
What the fuck? Oh,
Twitch is so loud.
boys, it is RMTS time. This time we have the chess master, the highest rated chess player that has ever been on RMTS. Ashbale.
Higher than mid. Oh, that's
great.
That's good.
I'm happy to be here, boys.
Exactly.
Thanks for having me.
My boy gets all of the viewers from Bangladeshi high schools and middle schools. He is the beautiful bastard Ashbale himself.
I don't know where most of his viewers are from. They're just definitely
The way he's
not my time zone.
the way my boy spells Beyblade, I think it is definitely Bangladesh.
I feel like that account may have been made at the age of like 8.
That's
maybe.
also possible, but I thought maybe.
That dude is a legend. He actually was watching.
Oh, he's a cool dude.
Streaming more stalker and shit all the time, man. He'd be like watching Brick in school, muted. I'm like, fucking what?
I'm here.
Concentrate
I'm
on your
here.
shit. I'm ashamed. I feel guilty. I feel responsible for ruining that child's education.
Although we are kind of dicks to our friends, we also have been ribbing Ashbale's friends and fans just a little bit. We decided to tell them that he was in a very, very violent problem that he was dealing with, and he was addicted to DMZ, and he hasn't left the hospital bed. So we finally dragged him out of the hospital bed. He is back, and now he's okay. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow, since it's a Tuesday, Ashbale comes back, but we'll see exactly what happens with that. But how have you guys been?
Yeah, we'll see.
Fucking great.
I'm good.
Pretty good.
Shit's been fucking insane.
YouTube channel's been popping off. It's been seeing exponential growth that I am fucking seriously floored by. Shout out to everyone who tunes in, likes, drops comments, because like we're getting so much engagement from
motherfuckers,
people on every type of video. Motherfuckers,
we are 10 times the viewership we had last month.
It's fucked.
The fuck is that?
That's awesome. You guys are crushing it.
We're getting to the point now that we have single videos that are getting the views we were getting in a month.
Yeah.
Before.
Really?
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yep.
Straight up.
Wow. That's gotta feel good, right?
One of the last reaction videos we did to a music video is at like fucking 2,200 now, which is just
this past week, we almost have the total views of the entire channel in 1 week.
Yeah, literally.
Wow.
It's popped
and
off.
it's just gonna keep doubling too. Like it's just gonna snowball.
It hit.
And
it
it wasn't even just from a single video. It wasn't the Wendigoon podcast. Like
exactly, man. Like it's so
good.
fucking crazy. It's so fucking cool that it just finally did something.
I'm getting so deep into like actually looking at the analytics of that shit all the time now. Like I love numbers and statistics anyway, but I just never have fucked with YouTube before this really. So it's all French. Or Greek, I should say. I can speak French. I'd understand it if it was French.
It's so nice having somebody be the yin to my yang and understand the whole numbers thing and like going in depth and trying to figure out why somebody's clicking on something and how we can execute that again.
We can both really hyper focus on that shit, which is good too. There's always one of us watching it. Like,
exactly. Like it's so fucking
logging
cool.
each other out of the YouTube channel's fucking Google account because we're logging in to look at all that shit.
Exactly. And I know you guys see the fucking stream title. This is episode 99.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
This is the last double legit episode. It's going to be a legitimate podcast.
We have the Sultan of Sauce coming rather soon.
The boss of the sauce.
Yeah. So that's exciting. We also have some homies coming from a very new medicinal thing that's coming out rather soon that has blown up all over TikTok.
No one's gonna
should
follow
be really
that
cool.
one.
Yeah,
no one will get that, but they'll get it once they see it.
Yeah, exactly. So we should have a cool couple weeks coming up. We also tried to get in touch with Wings. He said he's not doing any podcasts, but if he comes back, he'll be here. So if you guys want to see Wings, go and bother him. It'll be
bug the shit out of him because he bugs the shit out of Zach trying to get him to play fucking COD with him all the time. When we're playing together.
No, not even just that. Motherfucker message, and this isn't hate. This is just me being honest. This motherfucker messages me at like 11 o'clock on Thanksgiving. No greeting. No hey, happy Thanksgiving. Hey, do you know how to help me do this? What?
Just out of the blue, huh? I've been trying to get you on the show for how long now?
Like, the fuck, man? The fuck? Like, I understand. I understand if you don't want to do something, just say no. Which he did this time. But, like, don't ask for help randomly on a holiday if you don't want to interact at all. Like, the fuck, man. But, yeah. Shit.
At least he's keeping that line of communication open. At least he's being straightforward with you. It's good. It's good.
So much better than it was.
We'll do all we can to try to get him on, because I'd honestly love to talk to the fucking guy. There's just so... it would be a really good episode. It would be a good episode.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I think that'd be thoroughly fucking interesting. It's just actually getting those things accomplished and done.
Man streams a lot still. I see he's live fucking pretty often on YouTube. I haven't been following him that often.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's not a whole lot of streamers I watch on YouTube, really. Like, there's very little live content I ever follow on there. I don't get notifications for any of it.
No, same here. I've come across a few Warzone streams lately that I've tuned into that are pretty fun, but other than that, I'm not too into it.
No,
you're not that into Warzone, really? Not even DMZ?
Oh no, just into the YouTube, like, YouTube streamer community. I haven't even touched it. But Warzone, DMZ, all day.
It's weird. YouTube streaming seems to work better as long as you have people actually following your channel, because it drops at the top of sub boxes. So the second you have 500 or 600 people that watch your channel,
it's right there, top of their shit.
You're gonna have 5 or 10 people just sitting there. It's just getting that initial growth, which is the hell.
And personally, like, as far as gaming shit goes, I don't think I'd ever see myself switching over to that platform instead of Twitch, because with Twitch you just have so much more interaction that you can do with people, whether it's shit with silly roles or fucking channel point redemptions, or in the case of Stalker and like chaos extensions where you can literally or chaos tricks.
80% though.
Pay bits to fuck with the streamer in game, like, man, or help them, but usually fuck with them.
80% fucking ad rev though is fucking massive compared to what Twitch is.
Way more than Twitch.
Wow.
Twitch, you get no money from ad revenue. No.
Well, everything is 80% on YouTube compared to Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's 80-20 for sub split too.
I didn't realize that was that high. Holy shit.
Yeah. Twitch is 50-50, and they're looking at, I guess Trainwreck just announced this today. He's launching a new website that's going to be a Twitch competitor at 95.5.
What? That's fucking insane.
Yeah, for the first 6 months. That's not sustainable.
With his income from gambling, 100% sustainable if he keeps winning the way he does.
And he's likely going to get a bunch more gambler streamers on there who are just probably going to fucking help grow that platform as well, right? It makes a lot of sense, but that's fucked. I didn't realize that. That's insane. That's good, because that'll probably just become... What do you know if it has a name?
No.
Okay.
He just was openly talking about him doing it, and I was like, that's actually pretty interesting. It's interesting to see a third one get added again. We had Facebook. Facebook Gaming's down now. We had Mixer. Mixer's gone now. And Mixer was run by fucking Microsoft.
Yeah.
What the fuck's gonna happen next?
It seems like these big tech companies that are focused either on software or social media from the get-go that try to move into streaming always have such a hard time, because they don't know the audience as well as fucking YouTube and Twitch do, man. They have
Facebook's was better than YouTube. Facebook was better than YouTube. The problem was that it wasn't embedded.
And you'd find a lot more random people from it, but
exactly. Well, there's ways to actually have embedded interactions, which isn't on any other platform. You could share something from Twitch to Reddit, or share something from Twitch to YouTube, and you would have that interaction. But Facebook has those built-in interactions where you could share it to a group, you could share it to a page, and then there's thousands and thousands of interactions for free that you're not paying for. It's just you could hit or you could not.
Yeah, I've never even considered giving it a shot, but be another one.
No,
there's just so many more options now than there were even like 2-3 years ago. It's fucking awesome, really.
No, absolutely. It's interesting. It's interesting to see the little different business models, and I'm surprised Facebook didn't hit. Facebook was paying out a shit ton too.
Ad rev wise, yeah.
Yeah, they were also incentivizing creators. Like Harley got a contract when Facebook Gaming was released.
Fuck me, I did not realize
he streamed on Facebook Gaming for like 3.5-4 years.
Oh, so that's where he was when he was off of Twitch for the most part. Shit.
Yeah, he just came back at the end of last year, I think, or the beginning of this year.
Right? Because I knew that channel that like Harley Plays is relatively new, was it not? Or was that one he used before still?
What was that?
The channel Harley Plays that he uses now?
I think that was the one he used before.
Is that still the old one? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I know I'd watched him back in the day, but I barely used Twitch before the past year, really.
Well, with Facebook, you also have the
Same.
deeper interaction of like knowing everybody's individual actual name, which is
True.
kind of like it removes that veil of anonymity, I guess, that you get on
100%.
Twitch or YouTube. Like you could be a jackass on fucking Twitch or YouTube, and nobody's really gonna give a fuck. But if you know that you're this person at this location, and I can see your face, and I can rib you the entire fucking time that I'm sitting here, you have to be very, very careful because your ego might take a huge fucking hit.
Right? Like, depending on your settings, too. People could see... Obviously, if
Everything.
you're doing that shit, you probably get your friends private, but, like, groups you're in, fucking pages you like, all that sorts of shit. Like, they could follow you. If you're a real bad person, they could follow you. They could ruin you.
This shit's stupid.
It's too much information.
Oh,
Too much information
I know you
out
personally
there
don't
anymore.
even use, like, any social media, right, Ash?
No.
Aside from, like, fucking
Nope.
Twitch, if you even want to call it social media. Like,
Yeah, I
Twitch,
guess, or
Discord,
Discord if
that's
you want to
about
call
it.
that social media. Yeah,
Still-
but I don't even no social media for that reason. I don't like my information just being out there. Anybody can just, I don't know, just feels so.
well, when you're a Chippendales dancer, man, I'm sure that having those women throw themselves at you, you got to protect
Right.
yourself.
Yeah, there we go. Right? No, but it's just it's so intrusive. Like to a certain extent, I get wanting to put yourself out there, but when you're telling everybody every little thing about you, that just doesn't seem.
Well, I think
Smart.
there's different levels to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that will wear their heart on their sleeve and open up
Yeah.
about everything that's happened, but kind of hold certain things away. And then there's people that will be 100% transparent, and then there will be people who just don't want to be a part of this at all. And those are the
Yeah.
three opportunities. Either you jump into it full steam or you don't.
For some reason,
Mhm.
we're not getting comments on StreamYard, too, because I see there are comments
Because
on
it's
Twitch.
being recorded on StreamYard.
Oh,
not,
that's right.
Yes.
I completely forgot we're not
Notice
going
the
live through
fancy
here now.
layout? Yep.
See?
It's
See,
just
see,
holding the
see.
call. That's all it is.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Yeah.
See?
Look at you not even remembering the changes that we
I
implemented
know
3
we
days
did
ago.
this fucking last time, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I am silly, B. I am silly.
You silly Billy.
Can I redeem my 6,500 points, but instead of reacting to a video, you all kiss your webcams? It's going to be more than 6.5k, like
It's gotta be
6.5k,
way more
like
than that,
dinero.
dude. Jeez.
Yeah, like drop
At-
like
at
6
least.
stacks, my boy.
I didn't exfoliate my lips today. No one wants to see that, bro.
He's from fucking Canada, bud. There's no way in hell that they're
It's getting
not chappy
crispy.
all the
It's
time.
getting crispy. Not all the time, but it's getting crispy outside.
Those lips are not even getting swifty.
You hear them. I could do ASMR rubbing my lips
Yeah,
together right
just
now. Most
go
likely.
for it.
That was my favorite thing to say whenever I saw a girl that wasn't wearing a bra. It's a tip-bit nipply, isn't it?
Very nipply outside. I say that anytime
Very.
it's cold, remotely cold. Nipply. That word is just, yeah, that means cold to me.
Not
Yeah.
nippy. Nobody says nippy. We're
Not
not
nippy,
2 years old.
nipply.
Nipply.
Oh, Detour's back. I didn't even
Nipply.
see you there too.
Yeah.
How's it going, man? How's it going? Appreciate the love you've been giving us in YouTube comments on random videos as well.
Yeah, shit's
It's good to see the
fucking
familiar
crazy, man.
faces around. It's nice to know most of y'all seem to have found the channel, because I'm sure there's still a lot out there that have fucking checked us out beforehand, even well before I was on board, and just don't realize that everything's been posted to a new channel so far.
Yep. Well, though,
Just for shits, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna post a link to it.
you know
in the
what?
Twitch
There you go.
comments.
You know
A
what?
lot of people.
What's
do a lot of
absolutely
value.
interesting? Think of how much they're going to be really confused when that channel turns into the project that we're working on.
Well, when they look and see that it's gonna be fucking soon, I expect it hitting bigger numbers than you were before on most uploads. They'll be like, oh fuck.
Exactly. Like this thing's, and all 3 of us have been in the calls about talking about this, which is the interesting part that we actually decide, oh, wait, we're going to throw Ashbale in this one. Like, we've all been sitting here in these calls trying to come up with this idea and branding and everything else. We
Yeah.
talked for a good couple hours on this shit, and I can't wait for this shit to launch. It's going to be fucking cool.
Right? We're just
Ooh, I'm excited.
gonna try to mold Zach's old channel that already has a decent subscriber base, much bigger than fucking the channel that we have now.
And
Yeah.
it can
To
be
be
partnered
a
literally
spot
within
for-
500 subs.
Oh, true, because you'd already have the watch hours.
I already have the
from
watch
before.
hours. Yeah.
And they don't need that in a
Wow.
specific time frame, right?
It's in a year.
No. Oh, fuck, that's fine.
After it hits January, that year goes away in its lifetime.
Oh.
Which means that I'm double
That's
the
how
watch
that
hours.
works,
But
huh?
yes. They changed the terms as of January. So that way YouTube Shorts and people that make shorter form content are actually available to be monetized quicker.
Nice. Yeah, because I guess if you only made shorts specifically, that would take you fucking forever to get that many watch hours, man. That would be insane.
You don't want to know the
4K
views for
watch hours?
for fucking
Jesus.
shorts. You have to hit 10 million views on shorts in order for you to be partnered.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
What
I
the actual
personally,
fuck?
like, I love YouTube Shorts. I could get lost in it for an hour and a half.
But
like,
I never
no
see
problem.
the same one more than once.
Oh,
No, I've never
but,
seen a
dude,
duplicate one either.
No?
Never.
No.
I think the
think so.
algorithm just sends me the same ones. I love them. I just watch them over and over.
Other than that
It's
one
great.
fucking chick who has an OnlyFans too, who's like the doctor that wears the scrubs, and her name's like Misty. That's the only one that I've seen more than once.
No clue. I
No,
rarely watch YouTube Shorts personally.
Oh, I keep getting the Drake 21 Savage where they're making fun of that song where he's just yeah.
Hibbity, 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 hop. Well, that's
No,
Snoop
he
Dogg,
keeps
but
telling him,
it's
like,
the same shit
keeps
over and
telling
over
him-
again.
Yep.
Hibbity, hibbity,
great.
hibbity.
Most of the shorts that I've honestly watched are from one guy named Ryan Macbeth, who really popped off earlier this year covering shit about the Ukraine war. And he's mostly doing shorts, just answering quick questions that people have about the war or specific videos that he's done. Like, most of his content is south of 10 minutes. He's an ex-artilleryman in the U.S. Army. You've probably seen the dude. He's made so much fucking content in the last year.
I'm thinking I probably have.
Like middle-aged guy, short black hair, glasses and shit.
Yeah,
Cool
sitting
ass
behind a
dude.
desk, kind of like he's always filming on the side.
Yep. He's got like fucking, I think, triple stack monitors. Just a
There's a-
ridiculous
Yeah,
setup.
exactly. Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I love that guy.
There's
I
a
love
really,
that guy.
really interesting dude who does really, really in-depth shit on World War One. It's probably one of the other history channels we're gonna look at. I don't remember his exact name. It's like Ellie Nidell or something like that. Like, I'm close, maybe a couple letters off. But he dresses in World War One attire to do the videos. He sits behind a
Cool.
desk where it's all set up like it's World War One.
Oh, that's fucking
And
dope.
like
I
he just
that.
breaks it down like he's Tom Brokaw and like tells you the full entire in-depth story and everything else. Like, super, super interesting fucking video.
Man, when people go ham into either costume or just the setting for their streams or content production, it like makes such a big difference. Like, even yourself, Ashbale, look at the fucking room you're sitting in. It is sick. Like, you went all out.
Thank you.
You went from that white cube with no art
did.
on the walls
I
to
did.
fucking.
I'm so
all
happy
those
they're in
space
order now,
posters.
though. I'm so happy they're in order.
Just for you, dude. Just for you.
I remember I tried to call you out and be like, they're not even in distance from closest to farthest from the sun, and then I looked again like, oh,
Yep.
fuck, they are. They fucking are.
Yeah, we got him. We got him.
Got him. As soon as I got those fucking channel points, I was like, dude, I'm clicking this button. They need to be in the correct order. My OCD is not listening and looking at this anymore.
You're lucky no one's
No.
abused that. You're lucky everyone loves you so
No,
much.
no.
Yeah.
Every single time I've seen somebody redeem it, which has been Drap and me, I fucking removed the option every single time.
That's enough.
Thank
This
you
man
for
is going to
that.
be losing every goddamn chess
Thank
game
you
he
for
plays.
that.
Well,
Yeah, dude, it's so hard. It's so hard to stream and try and like, and I don't even have a big user base, like, you know. But even then, it's still hard to try and play a game and win. And
well, for
still
for
interact
your
with channel
shit,
points.
you're doing so much more, and you have so many more people interacting. Interacting with the chat is the easiest part. You have the
You're
hard
playing
part.
a game that is extremely
You're
time
playing-
limited. Like,
you-
there's
yeah.
no taking a minute and walking away and doing shit, or like
there's no sitting in a corner and reloading and just chilling.
fucking
Yeah.
pausing the game and then looking over,
Yeah.
answering questions and unpausing. You can't do that. No.
Like, it's not
But
even
it's
the point
fun.
where you need the boys to sit there and have some fun with. You're fuck. I have 2 minutes to play the game, and oh fuck, you
Yeah.
moved again. Now I gotta go again. Like, you're fucking yourself.
And then everybody's just either laughing at me because I'm obviously just messing up completely, or my like opponent is like half my age
And he's half
knows it
brain
and
dead.
is- Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? That's the only chess
Love
people
it.
there are. Either half brain dead people who drink too much wine in their mom's basement, or a whole bunch of people that are 9 years old. Like that's the entire problem right there.
I think online, like the chess community, it's weird because there's so many young people, so many more young people into that shit than I really expected there to be. And obviously big streamers like Ludwig popularizing it was a part of that. But like, when you think about people who are actually playing chess 24/7, most of them are probably not on the fucking internet doing this shit on YouTube and Twitch or even watching a lot of that content. Like,
Andrew Tate,
it's a weird world.
Andrew Tate reacted to a video. Somebody asked him, he was like, hey, your dad was one of the best chess players in the world. Obviously, you are lying about the amount of money you had growing up. He's like, my dad only gave a fuck about chess. He drove back and forth across the U.S. In his car, slept in his car, lived in his car. Why do you think I moved to England? Because we had no money. We had nothing. He made enough money playing chess in order to drive back across the country, where he made more money to drive back across.
I did not know that at all about him.
He's like,
fucking cool.
He's like, there's 11 people right now in all of chess that are millionaires. Every other person is a fucking nobody, just like everybody else is. He's like, and the top 10 people play on Twitch, and that's where they make most of their money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, you don't make a lot of money playing chess. Maybe 10, 20 grand for some grand championship.
But even if you're doing fucking cash games with like fans and shit, if that fan loses too many times, they're not coming back.
Yeah, they're not going to be a fan forever.
Or if you beat them too many times, they're going to be like, "Ah, dude, the fuck," and then they beat you. They're not going to come back to play again because they just beat you. Like it's a no-win game. Yeah. It's just a no-win game.
Someone's got to come out with a platform for playing chess that you can bet crypto on. That's like having that baked in to the game itself.
No,
that would be
having an escrow system. No, like
you put Ashbale's two jobs together.
Play the shit out of that, man.
His Chippendales dancer and his chess. He plays strip poker on chat roulette or Chatterbait.
You know, we could go that route, but I like Ippo's idea. You know, break through, do this whole crypto
gambling bullshit
chess website gambling. Yeah. Why not?
I don't know why there isn't a streaming website yet that has something to do with crypto built into it itself, because it just lends itself so naturally. Like, you think of what Twitch does with bits. If you were to do that with
crypto, the problem
is a proprietary coin of some sort or something else that already exists. I know there's a lot of legal ramifications, because you're talking about having this happen across so many different countries that some have shitloads of laws around crypto that are really lax, and some have ones that are really tight, and then some have literally none. So
yeah,
it'd be really hard to regulate.
Be the taxes?
Near impossible. Well, that's just going to vary from one country to the other. It would have to be like Twitch. They would have to give you tax forms to do this the right way, as far as withdrawing for each country.
Like, if I send somebody money on PayPal right now, or I get sent money on PayPal right now, that makes it so that way I receive the money and I have to pay taxes on it. But you also have to report the ones that you send out, which this change fully went and enacted this month when they were supposed to do it in March after this tax season. Fuck you,
really
PayPal. Fuck you. So like, if they did that with cryptocurrency, you're going to have people that are either trust fund kids that invest in this shit everywhere, that is able to overinvest and do things and have no idea what the fuck they're doing with it and not pay their taxes, or they're going to be complete full-on bogan retards that literally do everything in their way not to pay their taxes. It's just a way for everybody to avoid what the hell they need to actually do.
In a perfect world, I think it would have to be a platform that's hosted in some country with mega lax crypto laws, like Malta, Cayman Islands, Bermuda's another one. And having something peer-to-peer would just be fucking... It'd be the way to go. Cowboy said notifications say...
I can't change it.
Weird. Okay.
I can't change it.
Yeah, that's not the stream title.
Yep. Last week, the week before was Wendigoon.
Yeah.
It gets everybody in here. Wendigoon will be back at some point. Yep.
Oh, that was a great episode, yeah.
Still just as beautiful a bastard, though.
Indeed. Oh, well, thank you.
I may be inclined to say a hair more beautiful.
So, yeah, I guess that crowns me then.
Exactly.
I am the beautiful. What am I? Host.
Beautiful
Side
bastard.
host. Guest.
Yeah.
Beautiful bastard. How many fucking times have you called him that?
Beautiful bastard.
It's literally the term you
it's
use to
his
refer to
nickname
Ashbale more
on
than anything. Yeah.
On fucking everything for me. Beautiful bastard. If it's
I
a
remember seeing that on
G-rated game,
Fortnite. We were
bastard.
streaming Fortnite once, bastard with the B. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Nick walked in. He's like, "Who's beautiful bastard?" Oh wait,
Don't
that's
tell Mom.
Ashbale.
That's great. I like that though. That nickname kind of like, I don't even know how it came about, but yeah, we'll roll with it.
I'm a big fan of alliteration in every.
Well,
way,
anytime
shape,
we
or form.
stream together, we can be the beautiful and the bastard, like the young and the reckless.
There you go.
You're the beautiful, I'm the bastard. We'll be set.
What's a B word that can be used to describe? Oh, it can be a beaver.
What? Yeah, I like that.
The beautiful, the
All
bastard, and the ginger beaver.
Hey, if I had one, it probably would be a ginger beaver.
Exactly.
You know what's
B-word.
scary? I'm starting to find white, not gray, straight up white facial hairs.
Mhm.
I have ones that keep growing here, ones on this side.
Yeah,
I was waiting for this day, but
it's coming.
It's here.
I feel you. I got them going. I get the salt and pepper look if I keep my hair going long enough. I gotta trim it down.
I've had
Sucks.
really random, like super duper light, like almost blonde hairs on my head all of my life. But this is new. These are white. You pluck them off, they look like a fucking whisker from a cat, man. It's
they
creepy.
reflect on you.
So like right here, this shit. This actually isn't even full on like losing hair here. There's blonde hair here.
It's just super light color.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, so if I'd say like within the next 10, 15 years, do you think it'll actually end up being streaks there first? Maybe.
It started when I was about like
That's pretty
15,
cool.
and I had hair all the way into like my forehead here. I can't angle it correctly. Forehead here. And it's gone back a little bit, definitely. Like, I'm not going to lie. But it's fucking blonde. Like, it's not even anything big or crazy. Like, it's actually still, half of that's there. It's just blonde. It's the weirdest fucking shit ever.
Interesting.
I do like this haircut, though, because it fucking hides it.
It suits you too. I like it. It's good
No,
shit.
yeah, definitely. Clean. Looks good.
I love the Avatar man bun. It works. The Kringle Dingle
Man, that
says,
logo, I fucking love that logo. Every time I see it, I'm like, ah, I finally have a nose.
that's one of the thumbnails.
That's all I see. It's the nose.
That's one of the thumbnails we need to do. We need to do the Avatar characters from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be fucking hilarious.
When you first said that, I thought you meant like
The blue people?
James
No.
Cameron Avatar.
Nobody likes those
Yeah.
fucking movies. They just watch them because they were beautiful.
Okay. I rewatched Avatar earlier this year for the first time since like 2011, probably, maybe 2012.
Yeah.
The story was there. They had groundwork for a really good universe, but like some of the fucking writing and acting was really shit in that
Bud,
movie. Looking
what
back.
was
the
the-
CGI still stands up amazing.
What was the mineral that they were going for?
I couldn't tell you. I don't even.
You're
remember.
gonna kick yourself as soon
It
as
was
you,
a cheesy.
as
ass
soon
name.
as
I know it was
as
a cheesy
soon as
name,
you
but-
like you could even impulse this and probably get it right. Yes, the chat just got it. Unobtainium.
Was it unobtainium?
Unobtainium.
I love that word. That's silly. That's 10 times stronger than Chinesium.
Yeah.
Chinesium is
Oh.
what I use to refer to anything that's built very shittily. Usually, or
Oh,
Chinesium.
The fucked up thing is when I remember when I was a kid and I heard that shit, like Chinese nails or Polish shit. I was like, I don't understand. Like now as an adult, I'm like, oh, I get the joke. But like as a kid, it's like, the fuck? Chinese nails are worse than American nails? What the fuck's your point? How do you know it's a Chinese? Oh, because it broke. Gotcha. I understand.
Right.
But it just dumb shit like that gets said, and you're like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? What you're saying makes no sense to my little 8-year-old head.
It's funny, especially about it like before you get to be an adult. There's so many silly figures of speech and shit like that, expressions that you pick up on, use all the time, still no fucking idea where they came from or what they actually mean. I love it.
Some point you might end up coming down here, but watching Nick with that shit when we're watching like SpongeBob or Fairly Odd Parents or just something for him and the baby, you'll watch something click in his head because it's like it's starting to skirt that age where like he's starting to get some of the little fucked up jokes and stuff, and that light bulb turns on. He's like, that's not supposed to be there, and like he says he says something funny like that. It's fucking hilarious.
My two sisters' kids, they're such little shit disturbers. They're like 3 and 5 now, and the older one picks up on so fucking much. It is hilarious. There isn't a thing you can say around that child that he won't spit out like a week later and just hang on to, or just like make a joke about it. Like the last time I was over at their place, I had my dog over because my dog is just in love with their dog. They have been since day one, and my dog is such a big sweet angel. He's like 100-pounder, just a big teddy bear.
I love him.
And I made a joke about him actually having killed 3 people. Just fucking ridiculous shit, I'll say, for no reason. And 2 days later, my mom comes around, and he whispers to me, are we going to tell your mom about how Jack killed 3 people? I'm like, holy fucking shit, this kid was literally going to take these secrets to the grave. Hell yeah.
He's like, he's going to make Jack eat me.
No, he knows he would never.
That is great.
No, he would never eat those kids because they smell like their dog turkey. He would never. Just lick them to death, maybe.
It's fucking hilarious.
Detour just asked, Ippo, have you ever watched any AVE videos?
I don't know what AV is.
What is this?
AVE?
The V is lowercase.
Yeah. Yes, we'll watch his video.
Something versus something?
Alien versus everyone?
Something.
I'm confused.
Yes, B moves. As I said,
AVE.
I've told you that I don't have the videos set up in this layout because it's not the same. I would have to get a different full entire layout for it to work. And
we can work on that though, because like where it is right now, all this comic book shit, he hand drew all this for each individual layout, whether it's 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. And like to switch between that to another scene that has us with cameras and a spot to show a video that would still be on brand, that's like literally just twice as much work. It would be
I haven't gone through and done it yet, and now with releasing the new channel as well, it's going to be a little bit, but we will get there.
And that makes sense considering the amount of reaction content we'd be doing. I'd really like to keep doing this, especially having fans do it and we react live to stuff. I mean, depending on what the video is, we gotta pre-watch it. We gotta pre-watch it because I can't trust some of you motherfuckers to just send us random links and watch them live on Twitch. But I'm still down.
You have a mod pre-screen the videos for you guys. Just make sure everything's okay.
No, that's by far the best way to go about it.
Yeah, there's only a couple of them that I think I could really trust, and I think you're fucking one of them, Ashbale.
I would pre-screen for you, boys.
Exactly. We know Ashbale will 100% be PC on this podcast, and if we need a video...
We don't have to give him the rundown, bro. We don't have to give him the rundown.
Exactly. Not this word, not this word, not this... You said what? Right. Fuck.
Bullshit, revolt, no pre-watch, has to be genuine reacts. Well, then just give us a video and we will record an actual video reacting to it and then post it, not live, instead of doing it live, because I can't trust you to do that.
Not only that, we are trying to get monetized on YouTube.
Okay, so Detour said it's this Canadian engineer who basically just speaks in those weird idioms you were talking about growing up. AVE. I really don't think I've heard of this guy, surprisingly. Yeah.
Does he talk about riding the moose and going down to Timmy's and
I like Canadians
going back
and
to his igloo and sleeping in his donut bed with his coffee from Timmy's?
You know, I learned the other day balls to the wall. Do you guys know where that came from?
From the window.
Squash. Racquetball. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, so I guess back in World War II, the bombers, their throttles had balls at the top of them, and you would slam them to the wall to go full throttle. So it's balls to the walls. Yeah. So it's just full throttle, get out of there.
That war emergency power, just jam her forward.
Yeah, that's exactly. Sick.
Another good one, the whole 9 yards. You know where that comes from?
No.
Same thing, World War II standard issue 50 cal ammo belts. were 9 yards long.
Oh no, that's so sick. Okay.
You're saying you're going fucking all in. You're gonna use the whole 9 yards. Like,
yep, the whole 9 yards. When I first read
that, I'm like, that is so cool. I fucking love that.
That's fucking crazy. It's fucking weird where some of those things come from. Whatchamacallit? There's this clip from Kung Fu Panda. And this sounds like a really weird place to get any idiom like that. And the fat fucking panda that's played by Jack Black says, you know, I'm no good. They won't accept me. And the fucking old turtle that's there to teach them all how to do fucking kung fu and shit's like, you know, you can choose. You can do noodles. You can not do noodles. That's your choice. You put in the effort. You choose. But understand, the past, you already lived that. Living in the past is never going to help you. The future,
pasta though.
The future is something you can't change yet. But the present is a gift.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Sounds like something a turtle would say.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Especially that it's an old fucking turtle.
There's a suspicious user in the chat.
His name is Chops, he's fine.
Dropsky Michael? And he just called us losers? That's rude.
I don't even have to mod menu things. Drinking episode when? We had a drinking episode last time. Maybe if
then this is where they're all going to come in and say we weren't drinking. It was apple juice.
Even though I mixed drinks openly on air, that was very, very valid.
Well, no, because you use a syringe to get the alcohol out, put water back in. It was all just an elaborate ruse.
Well, I played the wings card. I put it inside a blender bottle. They don't even know what was in there, even though I was openly talking about
Detour's
exactly
already
what
saying
I meant.
Crystal Light right now in the comments. He knows what's on. Farsh and Chops. I am wearing socks. Oh my god, you're the person who thought you knew me in real life and was completely wrong.
He's like, yeah, I was fucking weird last time. That's what he said.
I remember this guy. We're all weird. That's not too weird. I actually love people giving us shit like that for no fucking reason. It's
exactly like we've had
engagement is good engagement.
We've had a porn star on this show that I know personally and worked with, and he went to the same exact high school that I went to the elementary school.
You guys made porn together?
We didn't make porn. He was into BDSM, so like the porn that he made, he got pissed on. One of the most hilarious fucking video that he did. So he was the degrader, like the person that got degraded on. So he started the video.
The degradee.
The degrade, yes. This mixed girl was sitting there with her feet up on this table. And she pushes the table out and says, "Slave," and claps her hands. And he pulls himself out from underneath the fucking sofa and says, "Yes, master."
Oh my fucking god. What the actual fuck, man?
Was it like a jump cut too, like a comedic jump cut?
Yes, it was a jump cut to like sitting over top of the arm of the couch with the camera straight
just
down.
Top down.
And
oh my god.
He pulled out.
Jesus Christ.
That's awesome.
And then he ran over, got on all fours, and knelt under her feet until we genuinely harassed him badly because of that.
Yeah, that's no thank you. No, thank you.
I don't know anyone personally who's made legit porn like that. Like, I know some people who've had like OnlyFans accounts or other spicy content like that, and like power to them. But I don't know anyone who's done it like truly at a professional level like that. Such an interesting industry, but it's also so toxic. So much bad shit has come out of it. Not to mention the fact that it's just ruined fucking people's expectations of all sexual interactions, especially at young ages. Just fucked.
At 18, he was making a couple $100 every time they went to a hotel room. Because the production company was run by his friend, and they actually sat there and did everything by themselves and made the money to do it.
They even wiped the lens off the camera, everything. It was all
exactly. Damn. But like it's odd. It's really odd. Like, what do you consider professional? The $400-$500 that you make a week?
It's a blurred line.
Or is it, you know what I'm saying? If it's $400 or $500 a week, a lot of people are professional.
A lot of shit you consider amateur, people are still making millions every fucking year off of it. So like, doesn't really matter.
If you shoot it on an iPhone, you're an am. You're good.
Oh man.
They shoot in 4K too, right? So you get yourself a nice.
You
nice
can get
little,
a 360 fucking iPhone cam. This shit's hectic.
There you go.
Is that a thing? Like that must be a thing.
You can shoot them in
It
180.
has to be, dude.
360 video orgies. That's gotta be like.
Yeah, I mean there has to be.
Why is there
There's
not
everything.
availability to pinch and zoom and move around videos if you're able to do 360? That'd be fucking
right
sick.
into that butthole.
Yep.
Keep going.
No, dude, no.
Until you can
Push
see yourself
and
in it.
open.
You can see the future through it.
They have a choose your own adventure video. You just depending on where you zoom in at.
That is a porn thing. That is a porn thing.
Oh, no.
I've never seen those either.
There's no way.
Yep, absolutely. I will make this bet. I have not seen one of these videos. I'm just telling you this is a thing.
I mean, it's been a thing on YouTube. I remember being
Gentlemen's bet $5. There's a video with at least 1 million views on the front page of Pornhub if you search choose your own.
I remember seeing
for sure
around the age
That's
of
what
10,
I'm saying. Is like that's a pretty safe bet.
when YouTube had integrations for fucking skipping around in videos, when they first added that with like not in thumbnails but in the random fucking boxes you can put on a video itself, and people were starting to make like choose your own adventure shit like that. So I'm sure that got to the porn industry.
Title cards. Yep. But no, I guarantee you.
That's
I guarantee I will.
Rule 34, right? If it exists, there is porn of it. 100% Kringle.
And I'm not just saying it exists. I'm saying that there's a 1 million view video on Pornhub if you search it.
Oh yeah.
On Pornhub, guaranteed.
I love
can just somewhat imagine. There's just someone sitting down, like, all right, I'm ready for the spicy version of this story this time. Like, I'm going evil.
That's the thing I don't understand. It's like, how do people fucking read smut? Like all these females are like, yeah, Christian Grey, 50 Shades of Grey shit. You know that's a fucking just dirtier version of fucking Twilight. It's literally the same story if you minus the vampires and werewolves.
For sure, yeah.
Yes, it was written by a fucking Twilight fan fiction writer.
Fuck off.
Dead fuck.
Actually
Google
did
it.
Beforehand?
Google it. I will fucking call
way.
you right now.
Holy
I will
shit.
call you on it.
I did not know that. That's actually insane.
Yep.
What the fuck, man?
I want this podcast to get big enough that I can search RMTS Rule 34 and find poorly drawn.
No. Drapsky, you seem off today. Like I know you're upside down and shit, but you're so upside down you might be fucking right side up today, mate.
That's why it's so grumpy.
Yeah.
It's almost
Much appreciated,
almost
Farsh.
good
I'm cool and nice till you get to know me. It's women sitting on cakes and farting. Oh, I didn't know what cake fart videos were. Thank you, Terry.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know about you,
It really is something for everything.
Yep.
Farsh said, "Can someone tell Ashbale that I hope the posters/frames fall off his wall?" What an asshat.
No way. well, okay. It's not gonna happen, but hey. Thank you.
Drap's got a lot of channel points. Does that mean you've just been lurking?
Yeah, he's been here.
Long time listener, first time caller?
How many channels?
Don't use the live react. Honestly, yeah, don't use it now because we
Yeah, I would lock it if I
these
wasn't
layouts.
absolutely autistic and retarded and
You
completely
should
forget
use
to
the
press
live
it.
react, Drapsky, because then that erases bees, and yeah, so
cancel each other out, and then
for
you
it.
guys can just
Yeah.
go live react to each other's videos. It'd be sick.
Exactly. I'll give you guys the upside down version of our layout and you guys can use that. I'll paint it all green so that way you guys can actually do it.
The upside down memes, they never run out, honestly. Like the Discord server that we're sitting in, a hell of a lot of the time, regular voice chat is called the 420 corner, and then we have one that's 420 corner in upside down text, and that was made so Drapsky could stream things and have a channel that's always using the Australian servers to ping off of, and he doesn't have to deal with 400 millisecond ping.
oh,
That's the best upside
that
down
place
meme out
doesn't
there.
exist. Yeah, it's the upside down.
It's the upside down, yeah. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't even think they have sunsets in there. It's just because the way they're positioned.
Did you get that from my theory on why Australia is the way it is?
No, dude.
Earlier?
See,
Oh my god.
no,
Okay.
I think this is just a common thing.
Given that the Earth is a flat two-dimensional plane, and Australia is underneath.
We follow donut theory.
It's not a donut.
We follow donut theory here.
You follow donut theory, bitch.
No, it is a donut that twists within itself with an ice ball in the center, like it's pooping it out.
I don't believe this. I don't believe this.
Ashbale's the only one that would agree with me because he's a learned man. Look at how many space posters he has behind him.
You don't realize where I live. I've seen the edge, bro. It's flat.
Oh, that is...
And underneath is where Australia goes. So back when we pushed all the criminals off the edge because we didn't want them anymore, they all just fell into that fucking big weird shaped island, the orange universe, and all the spooky animals that don't want to be seen by us because we kept squishing them all. They all went down there. They have no sun, no moon.
It makes sense.
All the bad things, the floods, the fires. We pushed them all off the edge and they went underneath.
I'm on you, mate.
Do you remember 2019, like the fires, the Australia fires? We thought they were going to be the biggest. It was like the biggest event. And then,
nothing has happened since the Chinese-Mexican beer flu. I'm sorry. Nothing has happened before that. All of our history was erased.
Last 2 years are a blur.
Did
I say 2 years? Holy shit, that's like 3 years now. That's fucked.
That's really fucked. You want to know what's fucked? So the last major milestone thing that everybody can point to before the Mexican Chinese beer flu is 9/11. You have 9/11 and then 2019. That's the last two major things.
There was a lot of hype up to 2012. December 21st, 2012 for
but not life-changing things that you're like at this point.
The
this
only
is where I
was. People who truly
was.
cared or changed anything about their lives were absolute tinfoil hat nut jobs, expecting the world to end because the Mayan calendar ended.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I think that's the last one. That's like I was here on this date. A lot of people remember where the fuck they were when they announced that we're closing everything down. Whether that was this specific date for this country or that specific date for a different country, that's the next one that happened. A lot of people, even around the world, remember when 9/11 happened, not just because the name is 9/11. They know what the fuck happened because it was a world event. Like, that
Have you guys seen the meme someone made of the Secret Service agent leaning into George W. Bush's ear with the text saying, "Sir, a second monkey has fallen off the bed and bumped his head." Nothing has given me so much serotonin and dopamine as that picture in the past month since I first found it. Because I just imagine him. When I think of George W. Bush, I think of a 3-year-old in a grown man's body who was just like smashing blocks together and shit in the White House in his time there. Just fucking dicking around, drooling on himself, and fucking shitting his pants.
That's cups everywhere.
Well, as you get older, that's exactly what you turn into. You turn into like that younger version of
20-year-old one under a fucking dress.
That's just able to talk. That's it. You're literally a big baby who can talk. That's the difference.
And just some of the faces he makes. So expressive. The big ears, man.
Did you see the fucking thing Biden did? The fucking thing Biden did probably about like a month and a half ago. He finishes a full speech that was supposedly so empowering. He turns around, looks to give someone a hug. Shadow person. Turns around again. Nobody's there. He gives that shadow person a hug and walks the fuck away.
He looked so fucking confused, man. Like he was just talking to a room full of his imaginary fucking friends.
He also has called out in the past 2 months a senator who has died. And was like, Karen, you here? Karen, senator from and he's like, Karen.
No way.
Karen died.
See that. That's
actually a month before he did it.
That's really sad.
That is all timers right fucking there.
What didn't Biden do? A lot of things
correctly.
A mentally sane person would do. Yeah. That's a lot of what he has.
I wish, I don't know. There's like 300 million people in the U.S. and there's no reason why we should be trying to elect 75-plus-year-old men to lead this country. It's just
they're not the best choice.
It's just not the best choice. It's just not it's just not.
I am the Biden of this stream. Thank you. That's truly a compliment because he seems like he's just having the time of his fucking life, and as am I, right here, right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Biden's Corvette. He's got a cool old Corvette.
You know, Biden reminds me a lot of my grandpa, who called me the other day when I was getting ready to stream. And he doesn't like being a part of this shit, so I can't even tell grandpa stories all the time, but this one made me giggle. So he calls me. He's like, so how's all that internet stuff you're doing? And he was a fucking G on computers and worked in, like, the IT field his entire fucking career. He watched the internet boom.
He's the one that you said got really into conspiracy theories and shit, and just like fucking let go of it all, basically. Like, doesn't work around a whole lot of tech and shit anymore.
No, none. He just got a smart TV in his house last year.
Oh man, you tell him all the fucking data mining they do.
So
fucking throw it out the window.
Don't tell me. Just don't remind me.
This dude is a fucking genius, though. Like absolutely extremely fucking intelligent. And I hear his very, very weak voice, not able to put, like, the effort into, like, having an argument in his mind that he used to do. And he's like, dude, Biden is just such a good candidate in person. I was like, bud, I'm not going to say he's a bad person, because the things that are accused of him are questionable. I understand. I'm not going to have that argument with you. I'm not going to sit here and show you video after video of him being fucking weird. We're not going to have that conversation while I'm streaming.
He's never sniffed a single kid. Those are all deep fakes, bro.
But he is not there, Grandpa. He hit old timers disease, and you're getting there, and we have lots of problems, and it makes me feel sad. But, like, can we just understand that this isn't a conversation that you should be having anymore? Like, can we age people out of voting? Can we age people out of driving? Like,
driver's license.
Yes. Like,
thank you.
Please.
I've been
like,
saying
it's
that
sad.
since long before I could fucking drive. I wish that was a thing, man. Because I clearly could see that there are just
like he's
people who can't see through their fucking windshield cruising around with a license they got in the 70s.
Yeah, love them to death, but goddamn,
so much that around here, you would hate it. You would hate it.
Like, that weakness and fragility in somebody's voice is kind of the weirdest thing to actually listen to when you're, like, have that person as a part of your life. And, like, last time you talked to them, they're like all this, and they're so energetic, and they make sure to tell you, like, the most in-depth shit. Now all that's gone, and that's just such a weird, like, disparity, whether that's the times, the sickness, the health, like, but that shit sucks.
It is sad to see that too, because my grandfather on my father's side is like 78 now, and he had a stroke in October of 2020. And, like, he's still pretty good, but like, he has lost mobility on most of one side of his body, and, like, mentally he's not all there like he was beforehand. And it's just so sad to see that deteriorate a person, man. Fuck, really is
sad.
Especially where his own father lived to like 98 and was like spick and span, like, so sane, sound of mind till the day he died, man. Like,
I didn't know my boy Ashbale had to go, so he's it said it at the bottom of the chat. I could be, like, unless you're saying like 15 minutes from now, but I don't want to hold you if you're trying to go to bed.
No, boys.
I know you like your 8 o'clock bedtime.
He's like Soggy.
No, definitely.
West Coast Soggy.
Hanging out with you boys,
I shouldn't compare you to Soggy at all. Actually, Soggy gets really sour and just sleepy and sounds like he's nodding off and snoring in his mic for the hour leading up to bedtime. You're just like, okay, I gotta go get you done before I go to bed. Get ready for the week.
That's the box wine, man. The box wine's the difference.
It's the box wine.
You have Ashbale who needs to go do the 60 fucking push-ups and crunches that he needs to do an hour before he goes to work at Chippendales, and then he needs to go to bed. Like, Soggy is just hitting another 6-pack of his box wine that he needs before he drives his Porsche to work. Like, that's what things are. Ashbale, we love you, buddy. Make sure to go check out Ashbale streams on Twitch.
It's good to finally have you on, and look forward to getting back to streaming some more shit, most likely COD in the near future, and
absolutely,
whenever you want to, I'm fucking down, man.
Yep.
I think it's overdue for a nice long DMZ stream with all of us. So
too many silly moments have happened in that goddamn
Too many
game.
silly moments.
And you guys are gonna see a fucking.
A lot of it,
you guys are gonna see a hellacious one.
Yes, the one that
December 1st.
You got to find a way, Ippo, to get that onto the channel, because even if it's a YouTube short, because the way we
that's what those are gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
most of the time when I'm clipping shit through SteelSeries moments, it's usually 2 minutes or less anyway. So like it lends pretty good to be that.
Well, YouTube Shorts is underneath a minute. But Ashbale, thank you so much, brother.
Much appreciated.
Enjoy the rest of the stream. It was a pleasure.
It's gonna get ugly for a minute, boys. We're flipping over to the new layout. I got buttons to press. We thought Ash was gonna be here for both hours. We asked him, but he said no. I guess
you probably can't see us now.
You can't see us now.
Funky.
We're really ugly.
Where am I?
Window capture. It's gonna be like a good 2 minutes, boys. I'm sorry, but
all good, all good. You know what I might do in that time? I might take that time to go urinate.
Oh fuck.
Well, I hate to leave you alone, but
it's okay. We'll give them.
I'll leave you with some positive thoughts.
We'll give them an extra half an hour.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, boys. I'm sorry. Like, just drop questions in the chat. We're good. Zach, man, what's up, bud? What's up, bud? I should go on reality TV. Why? Because my life is a fucking joke. My life is too fucking crazy, my boy. Too fucking crazy. Nah, I want you to win $1 million. Well, thank you, man. That would be absolutely life-changing. I've seen what a little bit of money and things that I'm able to do with that. I could only imagine what having a big-ass amount of money and being able to do things would be like. It would be absolutely life-changing. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to actually change how people perceive things and how things work. Like, I think we definitely could do a lot of fucking good. Not only with this show, but everything we're kind of working on. It's gonna be really fucking cool, I think. Ippo, goddamn, I'm so frustrated that there's this ugliness in the middle of the damn show. I sound a bit like Bert from Sesame Street. Well, that's why I got a redhead, so that way I know I have an Ernie too. The difference is we're not of that variety. That's the big difference is we're straight. But, you know, all the social justice warriors don't need to know that. That's the only difference though. That's the difference of me and Ippo and Bert and Ernie is we're of the straight variety.
Oh my fucking god. I mean, you put us in a bedroom with 2 twin beds a few feet apart and there's no telling what could happen though.
But honestly, how good of friends we are is fucking crazy when you only think that we've been friends for a year.
Yeah, we click.
It's the one thing that happened. Like, it's weird. It's weird because when I first met them, and I was invited into that friend group, Ippo and one of the other Discord people that were a part of that circle were like, we're going to start a podcast. And I was like, oh, okay, bud.
Yeah, another dude really wanted to. Another guy.
And he just sat there and played with his tech decks, and that's really confusing to me. How you're going to do a podcast while you're sitting there playing with tech decks on your deck?
You don't know. I asked him so much, like, what do you want it to be about specifically? Do you have any ideas for a name? I came up with so many ideas, and it was just like, man.
He wanted me to do like 80% of this.
Yeah, he's like, how do I do this? It's like, bro, we do this, what we're doing right now and record it. It is not hard. Like, it is not hard. You want to do a paid fight against me? Man, I'll fucking fight you for free. You're trying to fight Ashbale too? Like, no. We won't let you fuck that pretty mug up. No. You beat me up if you want to fight anyone here. You fight me.
Exactly. You can't
he'll
break the
Nolan on you and he'll crush you like a can of soup, bitch.
I should go on a reality TV show. What kind of reality TV show would I go on?
You won't fit through the door of most of those studios, so they'll bump in your fucking nose. A lot of people don't realize you're 6'5".
What's funny is
he looks like Groot in real life. I think that's what you would look like personally. Not that I've seen you in real life.
What's funny is Groot is my wife's favorite fucking Guardian of the Galaxy.
God damn it. God damn it.
And I have a shirt that says I am Groot.
You are Groot.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
What's funny is
you should go on Big Brother. I could see him on Big Brother 100%.
I have connections to be able to get to the producers of Big Brother and 60 Days In. Like, if I wanted it,
That'd be so fun.
I could have it.
The shit you would stir if you went on something like that, man. Oh my fucking god! I find Big Brother specifically, I could never get into it. Not that I don't know. It's
Big
just
Brother works because
weird.
like of the social dynamic within the house.
Of course, that's what interests people.
And
the
then
most.
you have the dumb, stupid games that aren't going to drown Zach if he falls in a pool. Because you're also forgetting about that part.
Not 6.5 feet deep, you'll be fine.
Exactly. I would be absolutely okay.
I'll send you water wings once you're in there. You'll be fine, man. You'll be fine.
Dude, how funny would it be if we're sitting there standing above a pool and they're like, yeah, you got to grab this flag from the bottom of the pool and come up. And I still beat everybody with fucking water wings.
Oh, you just have to pick it up to your
with my
big lanky arms and just whoop.
I'd like to see Zach on ice road truckers. Absolutely
ice road truckers. No? Oh, fuck, I'd do that. Have you ever driven on frozen ice before on a lake?
No, I wouldn't want to deal with a lot of lizards. That's the problem.
Oh, it's exhilarating.
The problem is they turn into ice cubes and then you could slide them across the frozen lake.
I've lived in a couple of different places where it's extremely common. Like where my dad grew up, it's about an hour and away from me. Fucking...
I thought that was a good one.
There's a really shallow bay in this place. Most of it's like under 10 feet deep. And it's like a mile between the mainland of Cape Breton and this island that's right off of it. And it freezes over completely in the wintertime, which isn't common for places that are actual salt water around here.
Mm-hmm.
And people drive on that bitch. And I've seen so many vehicles get picked out of the ice there over
so
the course
he wants to
of my
fight
life.
you in Ashbale, but he wants me to almost die in a car crash.
I think that any show where Zach gets in a car crash but isn't hurt and nobody dies would be perfect. What the fuck? Have I ever been ice fishing? Personally, no. I'm not a huge fan of fishing because I find it extremely boring. There's a lot more things I'd rather do outside.
I went ice fishing once, and I almost got hypothermia because I was 6 years old and didn't want to stop playing in the snow. The worst part about it was I bought a hot chocolate when we left, and I brought it with me, and he's like, it was my sperm donor. He's like, yeah, just sit it in the snow and it'll stay good. Shit turned to chocolate milk, and I was really fucking mad because, you know, you're cold and you want to warm up. You drink the fucking hot chocolate that you got an hour and a half ago, and now it's frozen. And all I wanted to do was...
hot chocolate or room temp hot chocolate is disgusting. So chalky, man. Like, fucking gross.
Dude, I would... Honestly, I would love to get on Cash Cab. That would be a fucking blast.
I watched so much of that show growing up. I knew I would always kill it. Jeopardy or Cash Cab, because, like... My brain for the retarded obscure trivia is just unreal. One of the autistic kids my wife went to school with went on fucking Wheel of Fortune and he won. No way. Damn.
I think it was Wheel of Fortune. He won like $40,000-$50,000.
See, that specifically would be tough for me. Wheel of Fortune, like in the US, because I'd be thinking of prices in Canadian dollars, and that would fuck me up harder than anything. That would take more time.
Wheel of Fortune isn't prices; it's letter tiles.
I'm thinking prices, right? Yep. Yeah, the fucking line. I haven't watched too many of those other game shows really, but Jeopardy always fucked with from a very young age, man. I'd literally be glued to the TV watching Jeopardy at like 5 years old.
Oh, I used to love that shit. The show that I got scared by so much when I was little. I would sit there and I would love watching Cops because I'm this little fucking ghetto hood rat kid. But the show that came on after it would give me nightmares every single fucking time. What show do you think came on after Cops?
Was it another reality TV show?
Cops went from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock and 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. This show came on from 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock.
The first 48?
Nope.
I don't know.
It was a real life show. It was America's Most Wanted.
Oh, God.
Hosted by John Walsh.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll fucking do it.
Because, like, it was not from 9 and 10 was The Simpsons. Not on Saturdays. On Fox, it was Cops last week's episode, and then Cops this week's episode, and then it was America's Most Wanted.
He knows, bro.
Eidetic memory, bud. Yes, The Simpsons were somewhere in there, but I think that's Friday, isn't it? When the new Simpsons airs. But
on Fox, yep.
They would show all these people and where they're being hunted. And it seemed like when they would release it to a region, it would be those region's bad guys for some reason. Like, I know they probably didn't do that, but like I hyper focused on the ones that were in the Northeast.
Of course.
And it's like, there's one an episode, guys. Like, one has to be around here at some point. Like, there's no fucking way, right? That shit used to fucking scare the shit out of me, man. That shit was fucking
living
horrible.
in buttfuck Nova Scotia. Like, I never had that fear. It's like, man, U.S. is fucked. That's just my opinion of watching all those shows. Like, they're full of serial killers and shit, but realistically, we probably have just as many per capita. Maybe a bit less. But
no more. Those highways out west, man. Those highways in the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
That's a whole other thing in itself, man. The amount of human trafficking that's gone on, even in Nova Scotia, it's become a massive problem in the last 5 years alone. It's fucking scary. I know people personally who have dealt with that shit, and it's no.
Oh, it's scary as fuck. It would be funny if you were watching Most Wanted show and someone in the segment was on the run, and then right when you finish watching the show, some random guy breaks into the house and it's him. That was my reoccurring nightmare every single time I watched the show.
Jesus Christ.
I have a very, very, very weird fucking memory. I have a memory that works where if I see something and interact with something, I remember it very, very intently, very, very in depth, and kind of just cycle that entire idea around in my head until I kind of break it down and figure it out. With images, number sequences, and things like that, it happens all the time. Regardless of if it's a nightmare or not. Oh, shit happens, man. The weird shit that happens in your life is the interesting shit. If I had no interesting shit, I would have no fucking stories to tell. And as far as I know, there's a fucking doc with at least 100 that would be 15, 20-minute stories, and that's good enough for me. And I had 2 more that I could have added tonight, and I completely forgot what the fuck they were now.
Talking about, okay, what Farch said specifically makes me think of an old-ass episode of Man Tracker. Because there was one that they fucking filmed in the Cape Breton Highlands. Like, where I live now, that's like, starts literally 20 minutes away from here. It's like an hour away from where I grew up. And I just vividly remember having a fucking dream of that black hat bastard on a horse chasing me for some reason after watching that as a child. I probably wasn't even that young. I think I was like 10 or 12 when that one came out.
And no apology accepted, Farsh. Fuck you. No, I don't get traumatized by that shit. I was fucking 5 and 6 and probably not supposed to be watching the show to begin with.
That's the type of shit that'll fuck you up as a child.
And when you have somebody, when your house has been broken into 3 fucking times,
you're like, it could happen.
That it's available.
Fuck.
Like, when you have crime that's not right in front of you, that might happen to somebody else. Why the fuck would it happen to me? Everybody thinks this way. I'm not fucking crazy. I know that. That's how most people think. They think it's not going to happen to me. There's no way that that's going to happen. I'm too good of a person, or there's no way that it would happen here. Those are the 3 exact things. When you see it, when you see drug deals going down in front of your Dunkin' Donuts, when you hear car sirens and cop sirens and you hear gunshots down the road, those fears are real. They're right in front of you. Like, that doesn't affect shit. No, I will not accept your apology. I don't get traumatized by things. But yes, they do affect life because they're right there. Like, who the fuck cares about a joke, man? Like, jokes happen. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. I'm at the point in my life where to legitimately offend me with words, I don't even know what you would have to say to me. I don't want to know what you have to say to me because it would probably be so... It would disgust you more than it would disgust me. Guaranteed.
I had a very, very weird knack to be able to say things that were disgusting but not picture them.
See, I can usually flip that switch off, but there's the odd time where someone says something really fucking gnarly and I just can't get out of it.
No, I'm not saying if you say it. I'm saying I can describe something to the grossest fucking detail. Like the umpteenth detail that you wouldn't like actually partake in unless you actually...
I have to picture it to go like that and try to gross someone out.
I don't
really freak them out.
But if you go in depth with something that same level without even like paying attention or interacting with the conversation, my mind's there. But if I'm fucking with you, I can just keep going and going and going, and you won't get me to stop because I'm grossed out. You will want to stop because you're grossed out.
So you're saying we're going to hear the word grapefruit before whatever your safe word is?
Probably. My
I
safe
doubt
word is
we'll ever hear it
kumquat.
on here though. Kumquat. I knew it was another fruit or vegetable. I just forgot what it was.
It's actually not, but I still think that's the funniest one to use.
Kumquat is a good one. Yeah.
Also, if
Also,
you're into
Farsh,
BDSM,
I don't live in Turtle Crossing. I live in the world of Animal Crossing, and there's just a Turtle Crossing sign there because the turtles are really slow. You gotta watch out for them so you don't beat them with a shovel accidentally.
oh, fuck it, I'm gonna say that joke. The reason you use kumquat is because if you thrust, as they say, cum, it's guaranteed to sound like "come in my twat."
You gotta drag it out. Kumquat.
Exactly. That's an edgy joke. That's probably over. It is what it is. So whatchamacallit? Speaking of edgy ass bullshit, this fucking disgusting fucking company, Balenciaga, I think that's exactly how you say it, right?
Yep.
Released a BDSM fucking clothing kit for children.
They've made a lot of, I don't know, like they're a company that doesn't make any innovative shit in the realm of fashion. It's just expensive for no fucking reason. Not like other companies like Gucci, Fendi, other fucking bigger names. Like they'll make cool clothing. Most of Balenciaga's shit is boring. It's not like Supreme level where it's just the branding, but I don't know. They don't have anything that stands out to me or ever has. But BDSM teddy bear is pretty fucked.
No, that wasn't the only part of the ad that was wrong too. There was leather within the clothing on the children, and within the papers that they sat on the table, there was a child porn case, something to that effect. Like I don't have it in front of me because both of my screens are taken up. The chat is more important, and recording the podcast itself is more important. So obviously, I'm not reading from something. I'm going off of what I read and took in and reiterating. So I might be off a little bit, but there was like 2 or 3 different levels to it. And then they also tried to profit from what the hell they did. And now they're suing the company that did the ad placement for the money back. So they're trying to triple dip on this. And none of the people that backed Balenciaga for the past 2 years when Yeezy was going down the drain has pulled their shit at all. Like they're still banked. They're still banked today. Like there's no update to this story. There's no update to what the fuck they're gonna do. They're still allowing them to do everything that they take away from any fucking conservative person in the fucking country right now, or in the world even. I've seen people
so fucked.
Like it's just absolutely asinine to me. Like we were sitting here looking at a fucking Epstein list that was possible earlier, and like that's the same shit. Like it's still the same shit. We're enabling these people to prey on the people that are the weakest in the entire fucking world.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Whether they're visually using them or using them physically, like the shit's disgusting.
Just trying to expose children to that culture, period, is fucked. Whoever thought that was a good idea should have been fucking tossed out a window. Like that is ridiculous.
Like if they say that this stuff is not caused by trauma, and I'm not saying this is what I believe. I'm stating what some people say. They say that this is not caused by trauma, that this is a trait. If it's a trait, why are we allowing it to continue? Is that crazy to say?
If what's a trait specifically?
If people wanting to be abusive towards children is a trait, and not something that you inherit by nature.
No.
I mean, not something you inherit by nurture.
I'm sure it can be either or, but like...
No, I'm sure it's probably both. No. But, like,
That's something that needs to be fucking...
We castrate bulls for different... We castrate bulls for much, much easier, kinder things. Cut their dick and balls off with rubber bands. Why the
those
fuck
are
we
traits
not doing
we
this?
should look for and lock those people away on an island and sink the island.
Or allow them to have countries like Australia, so at some point we feed them money and they do nothing back for us.
Listen, man, they're on fire, just like me. Right, Detour? No, that was Farsh that said that. Someone said I was on fire. It was Farsh. It was Farsh, of course. It was Farsh.
The shit is fucking disgusting, man. They are protecting them in the fucking Ghislaine Maxwell case. They're not going to release that fucking letter. They're not going to. She's dead within the next 3 years. I guarantee.
FBI's got a list of John Doe 1 through 200, and there is another court case that is unfolding at the moment. A defamation case against Ghislaine Maxwell from someone who claims to be a victim of abuse at the hands of Prince Andrew on Epstein's Island.
That's the Netflix
and there's
doc.
And there's near a dozen names that are supposed to be actually named in these proceedings coming up, because I guess they're in some document that's been submitted for this. But
I guarantee you,
that's a drop in the bucket, and I'm sure there's more than 200. Obviously,
I guarantee you, if it's not prosecution, it's going to be 12 people on the list that we already know.
It could be people that we've already known. If she's talking about someone as high profile as Prince Andrew, they're likely people we've seen on flight logs there and back already. But fuck, man, it's just.
Okay, that's actually a very, very in-depth question. I have a joke to lead into this, and then we'll definitely go into that. I like that kind of conversation topic. So, we were at a family barbecue once, and my sisters are complete opposites. My middle sister, so the sister that's younger than me but not older than me, is very, 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 very shy and quiet. Very, very intellectual. Like the standard bookworm Hermione Granger kind of type of person. My little sister is a wrecking ball that you would be very confused by, and like has special needs, love her to death, but just different kid. We're all sitting there at the pool. Some of us are swimming, some of us are just hanging out. And one of my cousins asks, how do you go from the middle sister to the younger one? And without skipping a fucking thought, I turn around. Well, angry sex. What are you talking about? It's the only difference.
Oh my fucking god!
My middle sister's quiet. The little one's younger and loud as hell. The only answer here is angry sex, man.
How the fuck old were you when you made that joke?
15.
Yeah, that checks out. Oh.
No, that's the openness that we had in my family, where we were able to joke and say, like, my childhood wasn't all cancer and AIDS. What those cancer and AIDS caused, my mind being slightly warped, those jokes being acceptable, how my house was run and how open my house was, leads me to be the person I am now. Like, I told my mom the other day, I was like, it happened. I'm not going to regret it. I'm just going to fucking run with it. I'm gonna do this. It doesn't matter. Like,
there is no changing the past. Yeah. You can change the way you perceive it, and you can use what's happened in your life to be a better person, help others, help yourself.
You can't fucking worry. Like, there's no reason to regret ever.
Obviously, humor of the dark variety isn't a great coping mechanism in some situations if it's your only one, but it works a lot of the time for me.
No, but the amount of quick wit that I have within me to sling stupid shit like that and just kind of rib, and just dumb shit.
I live for it. You know that too. Like, yeah. I fucking love getting a rise out of people for the dumbest reasons. I do it too much. Joke, way too much.
And that story has become like a full-on story. Like I tell at the end of the podcast, when we sit at family dinner with a new person. That is one of the stories that is told. And like that to me is kind of cool, because it's like I changed how everybody kind of perceives this shit, and I think that's funny. Like, that's so cool. But do you think that people wanting to practice non-consent play in the bedroom as consenting adults somehow negatively affect children in those relationships? Part of me worries that the experience that brought you into the world could be ingrained into your DNA. So I think that there's two parts to this. I haven't Googled this. This is kind of just more or less my first initial take to part of this, and kind of like a thought I've had for a while that I never really kind of got backup data for. So I think that the emotions and stuff that the mother feels during that pregnancy probably is going to have some sort of outcome on your traits as a human being afterwards. Whether that's wants, cravings, and that kind of stuff will integrate somehow in your life.
It checks out. Because
possibly not one-to-one.
They're all genetic. Like,
yeah.
That all comes from genetics.
Possibly not one-to-one, but I definitely think there's a basis there on how that might integrate into your life. But I don't think that the things, as long as it's actually a consented situation. I'm not going to talk extremely negatively because I don't think that that aids anybody.
No.
But when it is consensual, I think that that would be all a positive feeling regardless.
It all depends on the situation, right? Because if you're talking people who already have children, then that's, as long as they're doing that shit properly, keeping that shit behind closed doors and not trying to make fucking BDSM teddy bears.
Yeah.
Then there's no reason that that should affect their parenting at all. If that's just
that
one muse that they have in the bedroom, then there's no reason that should carry over into anything else in their life.
That to me makes me wonder, though.
But if he's talking about the conception of a child and those feelings affecting
I think that's where he was going from, was conception of a child,
really
and being like around it, and that happening while you're in vitro, and then as you grow, like in utero, and as you grow older.
But God only knows.
That kind of leads me to what
he probably doesn't even know. That's
what
shit
my actual
the devil knows.
Point was and this is absolutely just like pseudoscience that, like, I have very, very in-depth thoughts of trying to figure out and break shit down when I have these harebrained jokes that kind of make sense. Is I wonder if kinks and the things that you want in bed, or the things that you fantasize about, or those kind of individual things, if those are inheritable. Or if they are purely just nurture. Are they just the things that you've seen and interacted with in your life? Or are they from the past that just kind of interact and grow?
Fuck knows. I'm sure there's enough cases you could actually go out there and find of coincidences where people end up liking the same shit as their parents in that regard.
But I wonder how in-depth that goes. Like, obviously, we are so much more of a sexually open dialogue and conversation now than what it was 20 years ago, let alone 50 years ago. So we don't have generational science on that idea in the slightest. I guess.
Not to mention the rise of the internet in pretty much the same amount of time is going to lead to more people being into that shit just from discovering it out of fucking nowhere on the internet anyway.
Exactly. But I wonder how that interaction of those things and how those things work and how those things intermingle, if that actually does show correlation later on. Probably what the generation or generation after them from us. So that would be my kids' kids or my kids' kids' kids.
I've never really put much thought into that, but like that would be such a neat thing to do if you could get people who were
open,
comfortable and open enough to do it. Get like 3 generations together and fucking ask them about that shit, like what their specific kinks are. Ask them each separately, then bring them all together and have them talk about it. Fuck, that'd be an idea for an amazing, very fucked up video series.
No, I think that in-depthness in that conversation is rather interesting. I don't expect them to have one-to-one every single kink to the same level.
No, of course not.
But what I do think is that those kinks will probably interlace more than what you with a non-ancestor would. Like, is that crazy or is that logical?
No, not at all. Because you know that from different cultures around the world, genetically, we all obviously all have different traits. And like,
I'm sure that kinks and needs and wants are going to be the differences that would 100%. Accentuate themselves the most. Yes, there's only so many things you can do, but there's still, I think, only so many things that would be inheritable in that situation, and that would probably be one of them.
We are still animals when you boil it down, and animals have very specific things they look for in sexual partners because they make them believe that they're going to be better at providing food, shelter for their young, or that they're more likely to carry their young all the way through gestation and raise them properly. So it would make a lot of sense that it's like that for human beings too, from one culture to the next. Like, fuck, that's really interesting. That's a great question, honestly. That's got me thinking.
No, I love that question. I love those kind of intermingled, kind of in-depth ideas that are possible. Maybe not guaranteed, maybe not what the fuck a little intermingled level that you find, but actually has thought behind it, and there is something real here. There's a question here that can be asked. Whether that question is actually in-depth enough or has enough basis in reality is the question, which is the interesting part about it. Is that logical to believe that? Is there correlation to that? Like Detour says in the chat here, I think it brings up the question as in, how far into your life do you continue to draw on instincts from your ancestors? And I saw this dumb Facebook short, and it kind of brings that into question. Like, obviously it's a kid joking, but at the same time it does have a basis in like what reality is this dad asked his son, he said, "Son, you're always so happy. What's the guide to happiness?" He said, "I don't know, Dad. I think I know what it is, but I don't know what I have to say." Day 2 goes by, and he says, "Son, you're smiling an awful lot today. What's the guide to happiness?" "I don't know, Dad. You know what? I think we're going to figure it out together, and I'll be able to tell you soon. My birthday's in a couple days, and I'm sure I'll be able to have the words then." In a couple days, he asks him again. He says, "Son, you're happy all the time. You're riding your skateboard right now, and you're smiling at me. What makes everybody happy? How can you be so happy?" He said, "Dad, I thought you had the guide to happiness because you're the only person that I've ever had that's made me happy. But I forgot the guide to happiness." And it makes you wonder, is there a level that children and young know more than we do? They might not be able to say it, they might not be able to understand it, but they're there enough to perceive a world in a different way that you actually then, like adults, actually understand it. And they do.
Oh, 100%, because your imagination is so much more vivid when you're at that age, and you're also so blissfully ignorant of all the bad shit that there really is in the world and that people can do. And yeah, definitely, I think that they're probably closer to achieving the key to happiness, and I hope most people can fucking hold on to that for the rest of their life, because it's only going to get harder to perceive as you grow older and see more of the world, experience more, honestly.
Exactly why that question, that conversation is so interesting. And it's such an in-depth question. And like the things that, as a dad, I would suggest all of you guys, when you guys become dads, ask your kids those questions, man. Like, ask them the dumb, weird questions that like sort of make sense to you, but like are so blunt-faced and there's no answer to.
I love hearing the way kids will explain really, really, really tough questions like that, or explain their answers to questions like that, because like sometimes the way they'll explain it makes no fucking sense on the surface, but
and when they have the energy
really
behind it and thought behind it to prove that they know what they're talking about.
How is this coming from a child? Sometimes, man, I think that all the time when I hear some of the shit the kids say. It's wild.
I know we're getting to that time, so I'm just gonna lead into one and we can kind of free flow from there. So we were living in that colonial house that I showed you that was in the War of the Worlds movie. And I loved wrestling because the NWO was kind of a big thing, and it kind of grew, and like I kind of loved wrestling at that point. It was like late 1996, early 1997. So I was about 2.5, 3, going into 4, like in that time period. It was right before like kindergarten and that kind of stuff. We lived in this house for about a year. And this one night, I was watching a match with this wrestler named Buff Bagwell. He's actually a Chippendales dancer and an escort. He hit this.
Wrestler. What the fuck?
He's a escort and everything now. He wasn't then.
His
wrestler persona was that he was one, and then he became a
no fucking. He actually went
as an
in
actual person.
Oh my god.
He is literally like if you inflated somebody with as much steroids as you possibly can, that they turn into the Michelin Man with muscles. He looks like a bunch of bubbles put together. It's really confusing.
Ready to burst.
Like the only thing that he wore to the ring was a pair of leggings with his face spray painted on them, and a top hat.
Oh my fucking
like
god.
a T-Pain top hat.
Oh my god.
So he was part of the NWO. So at the time, he turned around and closed up a steel chair. He slides into the ring, and he smacks this dude over the head with it. He got disqualified. So my mind runs upstairs to my mom.
No.
And she's like, Zach, what's wrong? Buff Bagwell got disqualificationed. And like 3.5, 4-year-old Zach, fuck, kid, what the fuck did you just say? But looking back at it now, I'm like, dude, I was pretty fucking close for a 3-4-year-old kid.
Close enough, yeah.
Like, fucking hell, man. We got this shit.
Disqualification.
No, disqualification.
Disqualification.
Yeah.
That rolls off the tongue easier than I would imagine, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's definitely a kidism. It's definitely crazy fucking close, though. Like, it's weird. But yeah, that shit was so fucking funny. Like, I love hearing stupid little stories like that from my childhood.
I'm glad this went where it was. I was expecting you to have, like, folded up a folding chair and beat someone with it, honestly. That's where I thought this was going.
No, so my love for wrestling kind of grew through my entire childhood. And we ended up moving into this apartment complex. And we had 2 bedrooms. One was for me, and then one was for my sister and my mom at the time. And I was in my mom's room. And she had a TV in her room with the PlayStation that we had. We had a PS1 at the time. Because it was right before I traded my PS1 for the N64 that I had up until like a couple of years ago. And my mom had this Mickey picture. It was a poster in glass and a black frame. It was probably like $10. But I used to always wrestle with my stuffed animals and fuck around. As most people do. But I did crazy white kid shit and jump off things.
Of course. Body slam into them and shit.
And obviously I saw Buff Bagwell with the fucking steel chair hitting people. I was like, you know what would fucking hurt? You fucking set the person on the steel chair. So I set my fucking God. This fucking teddy bear was the size of me. Like legitimate size of me. Like it was like good 3.5, 4 feet tall fucking stuffed dog.
So you could dive on it at that age and be pretty well fine. Yeah, dope.
I pile drove the fucking stuffed dog into that fucking Mickey poster. My ass first. I went full ECW with it. I just went for it. Not a shard of glass in my ass. In the fucking slightest. Jumped off my mom's dresser and pile drove that dog through Mickey.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I love doing that shit. Whatchamacallit? Then we changed rooms, and then my mom ended up sharing with my sister again after I moved back out of my mom's room. And my mom bought this bed for my sister. I think it was at like a thrift store or a Salvation Army, or she found it at a yard sale. It was a castle bed. So the entire thing was a molded castle around the fucking crib mattress that was in it.
That's pretty fucking dope.
The top of it was like a actual house with like 2 steeples. I climbed up on said steeples and taught myself how to front flip off of them because I saw Jeff Hardy do swanton bombs.
Your mom must have had a fucking heart attack watching this shit at you at that age, man. Holy fuck.
Okay, would I say I was a retard kid?
Man.
I was a fucking retard kid. Like, I just did things. When my mom comes in the chat,
just
like,
watching wrestlers all day and just like, I'm gonna fucking do that right now.
When my mom comes in the chat and says, Zach did this, he's not lying, I'm really not lying. Like, I did fucked up jackass shit at 7 years old, 6 years old. Like, I did dumb shit because I felt like it.
Oh, my
ADHD.
Dude.
So, I was learning how to do front flips because I wanted to be like Jeff Hardy and do swanton bombs. I landed swanton bombs. I thought those were cool.
Fuck yeah.
And then I started learning how to do Rob Van Dam's 5-star frog splash, which I always wanted to do it perfect. Bash my head into the fucking wall.
Didn't learn though.
Not the wall.
You, I'm sure.
The ceiling. I said, you know what? 5-star frog splash is not my move. Going back to the
called it off bomb. After that? You didn't double down? That's good. That's good.
I was like, you know what's cooler than a swanton bomb? A front flip into a curb stomp. 7 years old. Knew what a fucking curb stomp was.
Jesus.
So I was like, you know what? Front flip into a leg drop, and then it's like a curb stomp. fucking fully rotate a front flip, hit my fucking head into the damn ceiling, front of my head this time, pass the fuck out.
Oh my fucking
I have no
God.
idea how much time went past because I was just playing in the room doing fucking wrestling shit for
Probably
like
straight up
hours
concussed
and hours.
afterwards.
Who the fuck knows how long I was out?
Just fucked.
Who the fuck knows how long I was playing?
Took a nice 15-hour nap, had to puke.
I was so fucked up by this. I woke up and the fucking arm of the teddy bear was on my chest and I was like, I fucking lost. How the fuck did I lose?
I tapped out? What the fuck? I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah, my bell was rung. They rung it already.
You were the bell, bro.
Exactly.
If you didn't
they
hear
heard
the
ding
bell,
ding.
the bell was you. Oh man.
But yeah.
I forgot to do this earlier. I meant to do this. I wanted to just shout out Ash in the Twitch chat here.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure all the homies
Drop
go
a link
check out
to his Twitch channel here. He hasn't been posting or streaming a shitload as of late, but I think we're both gonna get back into it a bit more with COD specifically because it's been bumping and we've been having so much time playing it. We've spent so much time on this shit.
I think in the grand scheme of things, and this is me thinking out loud to you, not necessarily the chat. I think in our descriptions, I want to get underneath the group of us. I want the group of like, I don't want to say whack pack in a negative thing, but like our friend group whack pack.
Any of our good pals who make any content online. Gotta shit for sure.
Exactly. Just that way they have the visualization and stuff on both channels and both.
I'd hate for anyone to think that we don't want to see them grow as well, and we're just trying to do this on our own without them. Because as you've seen, we are no fucking strangers to having just random ass people no one knows on here, just because they're our friends and we have good stories and shit with them anyway, and we know that we can fuck with them for 2 hours. Like,
no, and
we'd love to see any of these people who make content rise up at the same time as us, because that's just.
Ashbale is literally, that man could make millions of dollars.
So charismatic, so fucking funny. Gotta love the guy.
And like, honestly, if he started an OnlyFans tomorrow, with even his current Twitch subscribership, he probably by the end of next year is in the 6 digits.
We'd never hear from him again. He'd be out fucking with Andrew Tate, man.
You know, just honestly, he would be. Like, there are people that are at the 10%. Like, you understand where everybody fucking lines up. You're like, you're a piece of shit. You look like dog shit. You look like Ganondorf. You're one of the C words. And Zach's at least a 7, which is why he got more people than Ganondorf. But in the grand scheme of things, you know for damn sure, Ashbale's the top 1%.
Oh, he's up there, man. He's up there.
He's just one of those dudes that's you're like, you understand. It just is.
Back in the day when we used to frequent the old Discord server known as God Gang, an absolute think of a crack den online with like thousands of people in it. That's what this server is. Like,
I remember Ashbale would join and turn on his camera. All of the females would moan him
immediately.
They'd be like, "That's a fake camera."
Oh my god, are you single? And we would all like, "Oh no, he's married. Get the fuck, bitch."
Yeah,
every single time. Every single time. Speaking of that place, actually, Token dragged me in there late last night because he was bored and no one else was around. He's like, "Oh, they got this verification system set up now, so you actually got to talk to people to see stuff. Let's just get that out of the way now. Let's do it. Let's do it." And we actually sat for probably a good hour and a half, close to 2 hours in there last night, just talking to random fucks. Met a lot of cool people, honestly.
That's fucking.
You always do, eventually. Sometimes, maybe not every time.
Like the dude who lit his fucking dick and balls on fire.
Dude who smoked his pubes. I witnessed that. A lot of people smoke meth. Yeah, what a place. What a place. I'm not suggesting anyone go seek this place out. Not by any means. It'll rot your brain.
No, it's Ice Poseidon's old Discord. Like, you don't want to be there. It is not a fun time. It's a lot of people screaming and dancing and doing weird shit. But fuck.
I sometimes feel very disgusting when I look back, not only at the things that I've witnessed in there and that have gone on in there since I've found it in the past year or so, but since long before I ever heard of this place. Like, that server has just a heinous, disgusting history. I sometimes just feel ashamed being in there at all. That's why I don't spend much time in there. That's why I haven't in months.
No, man.
But sometimes it's worth it because it's like, it's literally like walking into a crack den. You don't know what you're going to find. You can find cool random people. You could find a lot of fuck people doing bad drugs.
So, I know we have other topics, but this one I thought of probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, because I think it was me and Ash actually. We're having this conversation in the Discord, and there was like 5 or 6 other people around. I don't remember what exactly started it, but we were talking. Oh, I think we were talking about somebody's alcoholism or alcohol intake or something like that, and we were like, dude, oh, somebody messaged me as we were talking about that shit, and was like, hey, the local bus that gives out free needles is driving around. I can't understand why our county does this. And I had one of the people from 60 Days in Narcoland on one of the other show that I worked on before, when I was working with Mark from 60 Days In. His name is Richie Weber. And he sat there and was like, yeah, man, like, those buses are life-saving devices.
100%. It's not like giving out free clean needles is going to get someone into intravenous drugs that isn't already. A lot of people think that, and that's fucking ridiculous. You have to be like, oh, shit, free needles? I might try this shit now.
That's not why I'm negative it.
No, yeah.
I am completely negative it, though. Like, I understand that it is, but I like the topic because it's so in-depth.
You're just straight up enabling this drug use.
That's where I go.
It's
so
rough,
I'm going to put that... Fuck it, I produce the show. I'm going to take that recording from Mark's channel. It's going to be up on our podcast channel this week as the throwback episode. So that way you guys get some really cool shit and different shit that you guys might not have known I did.
Fucking right.
This is actually a very, very in-depth conversation I had. Maybe some of it's going to be repeat, but it's kind of interesting. So to me, that shit to me, when a kid sees that the negatives that they teach in school isn't there, because like when I was in there, it was dirty needles give you HIV. You need to reuse needles because you can't buy them and they're not as available. At least that's what I was taught. I don't know where or what everybody else was taught, but like that takes away a major negative of said drug use. I think everybody can kind of just understand what the hell that is. Oh, that's actually on my screen. Probably too small on Twitch, but I still don't want everybody seeing my baby. Like, that shit's scary to me because it does enable it a little bit more in their mind because the negative's not as widely known in there. I also do think that it doesn't enable people to fix their decisions and wants and make it as necessary to change their life before they die. If you still give them clean needles, they're going to die. It does not change the level that they're going to take it at. It does not change the level that they're going to OD at. They're still going to do it.
It's so tough. It's such a polarizing topic, even from one side of your country or mine to the other, because there are very different opinions on it, especially
like in New York
when you're talking about just giving out drug paraphernalia or even drugs themselves, because there are places that do that too, that will give addicts
in New York
drugs to ensure that
they give you locations to use it. Like,
yeah,
I understand you don't kick the addict. I get it. But if the addict is not doing anything to better their life, why are you giving them availability to needles or clean drugs? Does not make them better people. It does not better their life. You're hurting them. You're hurting them. That's exactly what you're doing. You're giving them the decision to do it again at an easier rate than what you would have guaranteed. They're not paying you for those drugs. Guarantee it. They're fucking state-sponsored drug houses.
Oh, it's certainly a massive burden tax-wise, but I'm still of the belief that it's a good thing to do because short-term you are saving people from
if you give
illness, disease, or being in very bad situations. But if you're doing this, you have to be putting tenfold more money and time into trying to rehabilitate people and get them clean.
If it's a short term,
typically not the case in these places because that's a lot harder than giving them clean needles.
Where I'm handing you weekly needles, where okay, you get needles for 1 week and then you have to sign up to go to rehab. Like, it's not a choice. It's so
hard to enforce that if you're talking about a population, a lot of which are going to be homeless and whatnot.
No, that's my point. Is like, you sign up with your ID, you're getting this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, we're no longer putting drug addicts in jail. They're going to rehab and fixing themselves.
But I'm still glad that these programs exist in a lot of people, because if you look back to like 10, 20, 30 years ago, just the thought of that alone is fucking insane. If you were to tell someone from 2000 that we'd be giving people clean drugs and needles and places to do this shit, you'd be floored. You'd be fucking shocked compared to how hard they were on drugs.
It's really
from
hard.
The 80s up until recently.
Because I am very, very open-minded. And you know I am. You know the conversations I've had with you. This specific thing, like Narcan being given out regardless of if the person wants it.
Mm-hmm.
If you OD, you made that conscious decision at least half the time. You said, I'm going to take a little more, and took a little more, and then you passed out. Like, it happens. I understand that you went past the limit that you went past yesterday. But this time it hurt you. This time it caught you. You made that decision. You know how much you took yesterday, and you decided to take more today. That is a conscious decision. So why are we administering Narcan multiple times for every single case?
Right.
Like, when that was their decision.
People who personally have had to give it to the same person on more than one fucking occasion, man, and it's fucked to hear too.
Up here, everybody's volunteer firefighter. When you're a volunteer firefighter, you have to be able to do EMS stuff. You have to be able to do everything and kind of
keep that shit on you because you don't know when you're going to run into it. The one time you don't have it is when
this one dude who looked like Franklin the Turtle from the TV show. Was talking to me one day. He was a dude who was part of the fire company, and he was like, you know what, Zach, it's sad. We go into these houses, into these absolute dilapidated fucking houses, and you see 6-7 people passed out on the floor, and you're giving them Narcan for the 8th time this month.
Fuck, man.
And it's like, they're still making the decision. I know it's not the right thing to say. Don't shoot the messenger. But at some point, it's somebody's choice.
That's, hearing those stories, and like, it's not so much of a problem here, thank fuck still, because like a lot of bad drugs like fentanyl and shit have not taken hold of Atlantic Canada as bad as they have Western and like the Pacific parts of Canada. But you hear the stories that come out of BC specifically, it's the same shit. Like, there's cops who will go saying, I've done the same shit to this same group of people fucking a dozen times, if not more. And it becomes such a burden, time and money-wise, on police departments, any first responders, really.
Not only first responders, you also have that burden on that entire family, that entire community.
Oh, of course, their loved ones too, their friends and family, like, going to be constantly worrying about it, and it's
like, and that's the sad part, because
that's enabling to the nth degree. That shit. Obviously, it's a necessary tool to have for people who are having overdoses, but not holding them accountable when this shit happens over and over and over again.
And that's the same exact argument of like,
fucking insane.
Don't allow people to have clean needles because you're enabling them. You're telling them it's okay. You're taking away the negative.
A person should be in rehab immediately. To let them go again after that is mind-boggling to me. I just don't understand.
You are signing their S note. That is exactly what you're doing. Yeah. These government S notes are ridiculous. That is exactly
they're just going to always assume that that's going to be there, and the one time it isn't is probably going to be the last time that happens to them.
And then you know exactly what happens. Then that single mom signs up for welfare because they don't have the income anymore. When that single mom signs up for welfare, you're on welfare for the rest of your life because you're not getting out. You're a single mom. Because if you don't break the matrix, you don't see what the fuck they're trying to do to you, they're gonna keep pushing every single fucking person down that's gonna listen. They give you a clean needle. They give you the drugs and say do it. They give you a clean place to do the drugs that you're not gonna be mugged and fucking killed by a fucking pimp. Like, they are allowing you to do this shit. They're giving it to you.
And again, even the situation you just mentioned, it's helping someone short term, but long term, it's enabling more than anything. I like what Detour brought up here too, saying that the reason people are having trouble finding amoxicillin this cold and flu season is because it isn't a profitable drug, no matter how life-saving it is. Clean needles are probably just a way to get the taxpayers to pay for pharmaceutical greed, and that is 100% the prevalence of programs like this, and not to mention the administration of Narcan and other fucking drugs that can be used to help people who are having an overdose. It's obviously
Like, it
a
sucks.
social thing that needed to happen with the prevalence of drug use increasing and the acceptable drug use
And
that we've seen across the world.
I
But
agree that it needs to be accepted and understood that it's going to be a thing, because it
yeah,
has been. It's been a thing. It's been a thing since drugs were a thing. Like, there was opium dens in China. There was opium dens in fucking India. Those
there
things
still fucking are
did,
everywhere, especially across Southeast
but that's
Asia.
what I'm
They're
saying is,
everywhere,
like,
man.
those things were there. So saying that and understanding the way history works is those things are going to repeat themselves.
Yeah.
With them repeating themselves, you can't say that it's not an issue. It is an issue. It's a huge fucking issue.
Like it's good that places are getting as progressive as they are for the most part, because when you look at drug use in history, it's all in places like that. It's almost always a social thing. There are other people around.
And
Of
we
course, they
said
didn't
it,
have the things to reverse overdoses and whatnot at the
and we
time.
said it in the Prohibition React video. If
Hmm.
you limit the things that people can do to be a
People are going to
degen,
do them anyway.
they're going to do worse things.
They're going to do it behind closed doors. They're going to do it when no people are around. They're going to do it to cope with fucking whatever is going on in their life. And
But
the risk of them overdosing and dying from shit like that is
but
tenfold
I think
greater.
both of us agree on this. Is you don't handle the fucking addict, you handle the dealer. You say these things aren't okay, everything else is fair game.
It's such a fucking ridiculous, multifaceted issue, right? Too, because the harder you try to prosecute people who deal drugs specifically or traffic them one way or another, you're always going to drive these people to do them behind closed doors, and it's such a fucking tough issue to tackle, because obviously what, say, the DEA,
Okay,
for example, has gone and strived to do since the 80s did not work. It did
but
not keep crack cocaine off the streets. It
but
did not keep any
fentanyl.
opiates off the streets.
So, like, obviously we're seeing the problem with fentanyl now.
Hmm.
Coming from China directly, there's a direct line they can draw it. But them denying fentanyl, other than medicinal use, which is what it has been up until now, and we know that there's an increase in deaths of fentanyl,
Massively in some
why
places.
we cannot cut off China completely from creating it, because nobody is going to want it. Like, Myth went on this big ass tirade about how fentanyl was the kindest thing that anybody could do to the world, because the person that created it wanted a cheaper version of heroin or meth. Which one was it?
Heroin, because it's a synthetic opiate. Yeah.
It doesn't connect because I don't give a fuck. But he's like, you only had to take a tenth of what the hell you normally would, and it's just like,
It's so powerful that most people who aren't experienced with it specifically do not know how to dose it,
so.
and that's why there are so many overdoses.
So what you're
with it.
saying is
Fucking
this
scary.
should
Strong.
not be available. Like, it
100%.
shouldn't be available. So why?
The reason it's so prevalent is because it's synthetic. It's because it's made in labs.
Oh, I
And
know.
synthesized.
Like,
It doesn't have to come from actual opium,
I'm,
which just takes so
I
much time and
understand
water to grow. It's fucking
why it
insane.
works, but why it's not able to be stomped out completely. Like, it's not somebody growing a pot plant in their window. That's
No.
not seen. But running a fucking meth house is seen by everybody. So I could assume that shit's going to be in factories everywhere. You're not going to make a synthetic product within a fucking household. So that means it's not that you're not going to be able to hide it. You're just not.
See, I don't know the specifics of what exactly is taken to make the stuff specifically,
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
I'm sure that it can be made at a pretty small scale or in small establishments at a large enough scale because of the power that a single fucking tablet of this shit has compared to anything else, right? Like, to the end user, that goes so much further than other drugs in pill form do, that, like, they don't need to have massive actual, like, professional pharmaceutical scaled operations to
Oh, I
crank out
know.
millions of dollars worth of shit too, because that's the thing, it's not cheap by the time it gets to the end user. Like, a lot of the times a single pill that can do an addict a day, multiple days sometimes, can be $20 to $30, which is pretty fucking expensive when you think of a lot of other pharmaceutical drugs that get abused being usually 5, 10. Rarely are they more than $20 or $30, but that's like pretty much the going rate across North America. It's fucked. But like you said, most of it does come from China, and it's a
Like,
massive issue that's exploded so quickly. It's
how
so fucking scary.
how the United States and its friends doesn't deal with this fucking problem that we're all facing is asinine to me.
I don't even know where they would start personally. Like, You can do everything
like
you
as
can
a whole,
to scrutinize
I
your.
get it, but not get it all at the same time. Like, I don't know if that's just me as a person because I was clean for so long, and like, how the fuck do you not just see this? Okay, you first start with the shipments. Where are the shipments coming? Like, you can cut this shit off. There's no way that they're hiding the shit coming from China to the United States. Is it coming through the ports on fucking California, or is it coming through the ports in fucking Mexico? Which fucking one is it?
Most of it probably does come from the ocean, I would imagine.
That's my point. It's like
been the easiest way to smuggle things in, because these ships are so massive, you can't search every fucking container. It's impossible.
It's nuts.
Drugs are bad, MK Drapsky. You're right. You're right. I believe you. Not all drugs, but like just the bad ones are bad. Yeah. Oh, like, he said mad. I can't fucking read. Drugs are mad. Drugs will drive you mad.
But yeah, like the shit is just. It's not necessarily a scary thing because I know I will never be in that situation. Me personally, but it does scare you for everybody fucking around you because you just want better. Like, why the fuck does everybody not care? And like, you have these in-depth conversations, and it's like, oh, people should care. Okay, why is everybody not caring? Because you get like 5 or 6 people that are like, yeah, this all makes sense. Everybody's like, no, you're an asshole. It's like, why am I an asshole? Because I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are
like, no matter the problems, all it takes is one person slipping up, whether they're police, first responders, someone who works in homeless shelters or rehab centers, to slip up. It can ruin a person's life. It can fucking end them. Like, okay, just a few days ago, there's a man. I don't know where he was from originally in Nova Scotia, but he's from Nova Scotia. There's people in my hometown who knew him personally, I guess. I had never even heard his name before. But he spent time in prison in New Brunswick, so the province next door to me. He was released, had nowhere to go, no fucking warm clothing at all. It's fucking freezing here already. And after having been turned down from homeless shelters just because they were all full, they couldn't find anything for him. Same as rehabilitation centers. The man was still a drug addict. Ended up overdosing and dying in a public bathroom outside of the city hall of the town of fucking Moncton, or city, really, the second biggest city. Or no, that would be the biggest city in New Brunswick itself, not their capital, but the biggest city there.
Yeah.
Just failure at every fucking step, and it's so sad to hear those stories because the guy had like fucking 2 young kids and shit too, man. So goddamn sad.
Like
so sad.
The reason why this shit matters, I guess, so much to me is the like stats. My county is the fifth worst county per capita for all violent crime.
Jesus.
I live in New York. 4 of the boroughs are ahead of me. The 5th is behind me. That's
pretty fucked that you guys are higher than one of them. What? Considering your population is that much lower. Like, that's fucked.
The per capita numbers are not much different. The only one that's super drastic is like 1st and 2nd place. 3rd, 4th, and 5th are within like 10.
Jesus.
We are also one of the leading fucking people in the world for opiate overdoses in upstate New York. Which I understand. There's nothing to fucking do here. You're going to sit on your ass and do whatever the fuck is a fun game today. But, like, giving people legal options to decide on what they want to do is probably so much more beneficial than sitting here holding everything back. And that wasn't my argument before. It wasn't. My argument before was nothing. There's absolutely no reason we should be outlawing alcohol and cigarettes. That's where I was before.
Like, you look back at the Prohibition video that we fucking did. It can cause worse problems than what.
But now,
fucking there in the first place.
Like about 5 years ago, I started saying, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump legalizes cocaine and marijuana. I'd him be the drug president. Those 2 things are getting so socially accepted, I would not be surprised. And that was before 2016.
Right.
I wouldn't have been surprised. Those 2 things make sense with him.
Especially in your country, it is so prevalent, man. There's way more people that do cocaine than you would fucking imagine. Fuck the powder drugs, man. I wouldn't. Never had an inclination for them. Never do I ever want to, because you never know what the fuck is in that shit. You can test it, of course, but how many people actually do that when they get their hands on it? They just trust the people they get it from. It's a terrible thing to do, especially when you're talking about drugs like fentanyl becoming so widespread and fucking so many other drugs.
This shit's scary, man. This shit's fucking scary.
And it's really interesting hearing your own take on it, being someone who doesn't touch anything, really. Like, went your entire life without doing anything. You're sober Sally.
It's very hard not to look at it and put my level of morality on it, which is like a different thing that a lot of people genuinely can't do. They can't look at something and be like, okay, morality wise, my morality says that this should end.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go with that. That's exactly how I was when I was a teenager and as I got older up until a couple of years ago. And my opinions definitely progressed from then. But it's different and very, very odd to understand how that changes. Is like, how do you not affect your morality with what you believe in every circle, every certain circumstance, and those little things that are morality based? They just innately are. Do you hold them to your morality level, or is there at some point we all can say that this is wrong?
You can't expect everyone to have the same opinion, because everyone's going to have a different opinion. But coming from a place like yourself, where you obviously grew up around drug use, you saw people who did it. I mean, most people do to some extent, because alcohol and fucking nicotine certainly count. Don't think they don't. And to believe that no one should have that shit is, in a way, yeah, it makes sense. In a perfect world, no one would need it. But the fact of the matter is, it's always going to be there. People are always going to do it. And you just have to figure out the right ways to regulate it.
I think my biggest thing...
Such a tough issue. It's one of the biggest issues we face socially still.
And I think this is definitely because of the way I grew up. So, like, I understand that this might not fall into everybody's circumstances, but it would change the entire country. And this is exactly what it should be. Is you legalize more drugs. Probably weed, probably cocaine, federally. Maybe a couple other things if you feel like they're on the fringe of being acceptable or whatever. You keep the other ones.
Psychedelics, yeah, 100%.
You keep the other ones illegal. Like, start doing testing on them, see what's happening with them, how they affect the body. Yes, we have people that, like, we have addicts that want to use these things. Okay, use these things. Let's see what the hell they do, so that way we can understand them better. But anybody who receives social services, disability, have kids, food stamps, you don't get to buy alcohol. You don't get to buy fucking tobacco. You don't get to buy those drugs. You are asking for help. You don't get to do those things.
I don't know. I agree with that to an extent, not 100%, because like having children or just needing
help for months should not give you vices.
Oh, of course not. No,
that's my
if you're
point.
On, like social assistance or something, then there's no reason.
That's what I'm saying. So you receive money from the government. You shouldn't be doing sin stuff, and that's exactly what it is. No gambling, no alcohol, no guns. No, that's just not you. Like, I know they're going to throw the guns in there. I'm not a retard, so I'm just going to understand that that's probably where it's going to be. It's going to be no sins.
Tough.
But in giving up guns, it probably deals with the system a hell of a lot better. You don't deal with drug addicts. You deal with people that weren't doing the right thing, and they have.
It's certainly closer to the way things should be, because when you look at the two best examples of it globally, that being Ecuador and Portugal, countries that legalized a very wide amount of drugs, and you see their overdoses plummet. You see their violent crime rates plummet.
You know exactly how you handle the other part of that situation too. Oh, try and stop me. You're right, I'm not going to stop you. But every single dollar that I just paid out into your household, you can't tell me when you started smoking. You can't prove it. Every single dime you've ever received federally, you need to pay back now.
That'd be fucked. That'd be pretty fucked. For them to try to do that, that'd be...
No, just...
I think even enforcing that first part of that rule would be almost impossible.
No, you
US
obviously, what they would
fine.
come down to would be, okay, you're no longer allowed to receive services.
Right,
I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
the dramatic version of it, you pay it back because you did the thing you're not supposed to do. We learn in fucking elementary school, you don't do the thing that we tell you no. Okay, if we're gonna have a country of droids, we're gonna have a country of fucking retards that just sit there and keep walking around like sheeple, then you don't support them.
Which Detour says here, I wish more people were made aware of the money that can be made in medical test studies. If you're willing to destroy your life, why not make some money and get on with it? And hey, maybe it'll help someone find a cure to something. It's probably a good avenue. A lot of people who fucking are drug addicts and maybe do live off social assistance or programs like that,
you know,
should look into.
People that are waiting for trust funds. I know somebody who does a hell of a lot of things. He loves hanging out in the basement. Why don't you go sign up for a medical test study? They'll probably find some answers. Also, they might find out some of the answers from before. See you fucking next time. Oh yeah, check out Humble Bundle. We're fucking retards and didn't say